Hello, my name is DC. I'll be giving a match analysis for South Africa versus Zambia. This was an international friendly, and things didn't go too well for Zambia. New coach, and we there was news coming from Zambia's camp that they were food poisoned or something. So a lot of people are not feeling well, including the coach. That may have affected things, but let's see the things that they definitely had a how can I say a major control over, which is the performance. Let's go. All right, so this is the first goal of the game. He passes it. Before we start, let's count. One, two, three, four, five, six, and if he goes there, that'll be seven players. And what's funny is I'm assuming they're pressing, so I would assume, sorry, I would assume the defense would be a little, would have stepped forward a little, because this is way too easy. So, sorry, as I've said, uh, three here. Another three here, six, and the assist coming here, that'll be seven. Let's play it further. Boom. And he really should have just dropped back because he's chasing a lost cause. Because what's dangerous here isn't the ball, it's the space. If he starts just tracking back, hoping his teammates get behind him, he has a better chance because, maybe there'll be someone to support. He may take a bad touch. But when he does this, he takes away all chance he has. And just like that, he's been taken out. And then you have left this gigantic space. And one, two, and keep note of him because he's looking at what's happening here, which is important, but he's also forgetting there's someone right behind him. So he just overcommitted. He should have just stayed or tracked back, just be here, because he was just easily taken out of play. He really was. South Africa get the ball again, foul him. At this point, 42, 44. Might as well just take the foul. Yeah, you might have gone into the second half with nil-nil, different mentality, different speeches you give. And question to why is he all the way here? I would want him just to be a bit here because he's already taken up this position. So if he's here, he can cover a bit for the center and he can rush out in case of anything. Because what he's doing here is taking himself out the game immediately. Remember, space is what's dangerous, not necessarily with the ball, because who's going to shoot from here and score? It can happen, but chances are really, really low. As I've said, he could have fouled him. He doesn't, allows him to move on with the ball. And as we've seen, he was looking at what's happening here, forgetting there's a man in behind him, and he plays this lovely ball. It really is a lovely ball. Good weight of pass also. And at this point, he also did a good job at dragging this Zambian player here. So by the time he wants to rush out, no chance. The goalkeeper, nothing he can do. Takes a touch, boom, goal. That's a lovely goal. All because of overcommitting. I'm not sure if they were pressing. I really don't know what was happening, but he really should have just stayed back. Immediately he stopped and he should have just gone back here and covered this space. That's what he should have done. Takes himself out, should have fouled. He is way too fixated on this. He should really be looking towards behind him. And yeah, goal. That's lovely, lovely football. I'm not going to lie. Yes, South Africa did score against us, but you have to appreciate good football. And that was good football, even though there was a bit of, bad defending. Otherwise, let's head on. Next goal of the match. This is a duel. He does not win it. He tries to trap it, but funny enough, if he just takes it into space, if he takes the ball into space there, he can probably go around him because he is coming this way. So which means his momentum is taking him that way. He could easily go around him and then fetch the ball from there. But unfortunately, whatever he does doesn't work. And then it just goes back to the South Africans. And once again, one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. And what do you notice? A very big gap, and no Zambian player is here. And then to make matters worse, as they lose the ball, let's count how long. So he's trapped it right here, right? If I was either of, if I, especially him, just start tracking back. Because what happens is, as the South African player gets the ball, look at what they just stand. I don't know if they think they can telepathically, stop the ball or touch it, but this is not good. They just give him time and space. I would have been well okay if someone just rushed out. Whether you get the ball or not, at least do something. They're just watching, watching. Look at how much time he has. And then, sorry, let me just play. It's so frustrating now that I see it. It really is. He should have been tracking. Immediately he lost that ball. Track back. Don't occupy this space. And then look at this. He, all right, you see this? Yeah. So you have about okay, I can't really count him. So you have three Zambian players, but they can't get anywhere near the ball, which is shocking. Look at this. The two players that were here have now moved and occupied this space here, whereas the two Zambian players are still looking at him with the ball. You can't make this up. They give him all the time and space, and they don't even try to cut out a passing lane. They just stand there. They give him. They're just telling him, "Oh, here, take, pass it there. Look at that pass." And then look at this. He rushes out. I understand why he does this. I really do. But you have to realize if you do not get that ball, you are cooked. At this point, I'd have just preferred he tracks back. Remember, there were two South African players here, and then there was, I think, another two here. The Zambian players have not moved at all. They are still here. And look at how far the South African players have moved. Boom. That's a lovely ball over the top. All right, so here things just go from bad to worse. And the defending is horrible. All right, so here. Now, this is the mistake that he makes. Um, but he shouldn't have done that. He should have just stayed. You're better off tracking back when you see a near the 18-yard box or something. Go ahead and do something. And also, in the terms of dark arts, this is a horrible decision to make because by the time you reach here, he's passed the ball, and if he's passed the ball, and you decide to foul him, the ball has gone, so you get a yellow for no reason at all. So if you went back, continued, and then if he saw that I can go ahead for the ball, whether he gets the ball or not, as long as he's able to tackle and the ball does not reach the opponent, he gets a free kick, probably a yellow card, and that's better. But even in the terms of dark arts, this was a terrible decision. This is a lovely looped ball, I'm not going to lie. And then you see that movement by the defender? That also allows us, because look at this. This is the Zambian player, right? Now look at how he turns. You see? And then just that motion has allowed the South African player to get a few extra yards and to, run with the ball. Now here is what's funny. At this point, he's doing the wrong thing. What he should have done is continued for him, yeah, continue applying pressure. If he decides to track back, you hold, take, you know what you do? Both arms out wide, you grab hold to the player, get the yellow. It's better. And if he doesn't chop, you lead him here because what he's trying to do, he's trying to occupy this space, which is a horrible idea. He's trapped the ball, so just force him that way or foul him. That would be the best course of action. Instead, he plays right into his trap. He overshoots. South African player gets past him, takes a touch, and that's a lovely goal. It really is. And then there's just something. You see, I mean, look at that. He couldn't even try to slow himself down. He just assumed it's horrible all around, horrible. And it's just the way it wraps itself around the net. That's one thing. That's another oddly satisfying thing about the goal that was scored. I mean, just here, you can see it. This is another a better angle actually. If he doesn't do this, okay, there's a high likelihood of the goal being scored, and there's also another high likelihood that if he's still running, they could have played offside or something like that. He rushes. That was very erratic. There was no need for that. Here, trust me, here is where he should stop. By stop, either be slightly ahead or just level with the player. Because at this point, you want to force him down this way. You don't want to force him to go this way because there's a player here. And then there's another player here. I know he's far, but you could run and get closer. And then there's another player that's out of the frame. So horrible defending all round. That's a lovely touch. And at this point, he is cooked. Goalkeeper. Nah, didn't stand a chance. Look at the way his arms are. Just and then another thing, right? You also another thing to put into consideration is separation. So from the time he flicked, what's the distance? I know I can't really estimate, but that's too far. From one flick, he's managed to create this much separation. Nah, 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 nah. He should be much closer. He should really be anticipating a flick or something. But that's a good goal. South Africa played football. They beat us, but they played football, and that's one thing you just have to appreciate. You just have to take the L. Now this is real funny. Take and funny enough, the person that's at the post is not even a Zambian player. That's the sad part. And that's before the free kick. Just before the corner is taken. But anyway, I'm sure you understand. Uh, Zono marking, and you're marking nobody. The people you're supposed to be marking are behind you. And they also seem to be very big. By that, I mean they have a physical presence, taller, probably more, willing to fight for the ball. And then look at the person that scores. So this is smart. He is pushing, so he creates that separation. So so the Zambian player here either gets out of the way so he can hit it, or he creates space for his teammate to hit the ball. Zonal marking, yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, the Zambian player has completely forgotten who he's marking. He probably doesn't even jump, and if there was a man at the post, that probably doesn't get scored. Zonal marking, horrible sometimes, can be very horrible. Just mark someone. Just go ahead. Just mark someone. This is zonal. It does frustrate because you're basically marking yourselves. You really are. My internet is misbehaving a bit, so I'm just going to be yapping a bit on other thoughts about this because the thing with zonal marking is that yes, it's good, but then if you're playing against a team with a physical presence, you don't do that. You really don't do that because you're going to end up in problems because you need contact. Because if you're zonal marking, it means they're most likely going to get a better jump, a better run. So you really have to be physical sometimes, man to man. So the goal is scored somewhere here, right? I hope if I don't, press play, this doesn't move out of frame. Look at this. Two South African players unmarked. At least he's doing something. He's occupying something. He's being a bit of a nuisance. Unmarked, doesn't even jump. If there was a man on the post, that doesn't get scored. Terrible defending. Terrible. And then there's a lot of erratic decisions being made by our defense. It's shocking. Somewhere here, a chance is made. And Fashion Sakala, right? Takes it wide. So he takes an extra touch. What I do like here is the defending. Because look at the distance here. There's a man there. But by the time Fashion Sakala plays the cross in, it's really good defending. Oh, the network once again is misbehaving. Oh no, or maybe that's how the footage is. Nope. Yeah, he was completely covered. There was no way he was getting to that ball. So that's very good defending. And as usual, we acknowledge good defending, even if it is scored against us. Painful video to make, not going to lie. Fashion Sagala, he really did try. Once again, Zambia, terrible shot. But and this is a really good piece of play because he does his job to perfection. He is either creating space to receive the pass or simply dragging a man with him. Because look at where the South African player is, look at where the Zambian player is, and when he makes that run, look at that, he creates that space, that little bit of space. Yeah, he doesn't drag him all the way, but he drags him enough such that his teammate can, and he really should have done better. Funny enough, could have made a little dummy pass, sorry, dummy shoot, pretend to shoot, but you're really laying it for him, and he probably could have gotten a shot, or if possible, he quickly gets back on side. So boom, it goes to him, it goes to him. Then he makes a run, or he has a shot between the two. And yeah, let's head on to the goal that Zambia scored. It's a funny goal because it actually comes from South Africa's free kick. So they have a free kick, and at least no, they just get first contact, which is okay because he's unmarked. He's unmarked. These three, okay, okay, these three are unmarked. He is all alone. So this is the best case scenario for them. Boom, they get the first contact, heads it over. At this point, do not engage. Just track back. Oh my goodness. Oh no, my mouse is misbehaving. Oh, stop misbehaving. Do not engage. Just track back. Track back. Track back. Because the space is what's dangerous here. He commits and he does not get the ball and he takes himself out the equation. That's a nice ball that's played for him. You know what I do like from this? This is the 91st, 92nd minute in football terms. And then look at how quick the Zambian players are out to go for the counter. One, two, three, four, five, six. Yes, and it's good that yeah, even though it was later on during the game that had enough energy to help with this. He's trying to play offside. It doesn't end too well. Let's see what mistake he does make. All right, so he's the furthest actually. He's the furthest forward, and he's trying to time it. He really is. He's trying to time it. Unfortunately, he just times it too late because this is where it's supposed to be running. Because he is definitely not playing him onside. You are playing him onside. He's supposed to be quicker, or if not, just continue tracking back. But maybe he could have timed it better. He times it wrong. I think it hits him. I think it does. No, maybe he could have gotten something, and that's easy. And once again, they've still continued attacking. And also, we have to acknowledge South Africa. One, two, three, four, five, six. Yes, they have scored, but this is really good because the number of players that have, because at that point, the Zambian players were the one leading in terms of the counter, but now the South Africans have managed to get back and are in somewhat good positions, but we also acknowledge the good tracking back from the South African players. That's very good defending. Goalkeeper he rushes out too early. Reason why I'm saying this is because he should be here, and as the player enters his box, that's when you charge out. Because here, if you touch it, it's immediately handball, and yeah, he took himself out of the equation there. He really does. Yeah, he takes himself out of the equation. He was supposed to start here. You're supposed to be here. Immediately, the Zambian player starts getting closer. He rushes out. He goes out too early. He can't use his hands. He can't stretch as he would like to. And the Zambian player lays it off. And that's a good goal. That's a lovely, oddly satisfying goal. That's the type of category that is in. Let's see that again. That's lovely. And how slow it is to enter the net. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. He rushes out too early. And that's a good goal. Otherwise, that's been my match. This is South Africa versus Zambia. Major issues in terms of defense and how the defenders react or how they handle certain situations, such as rushing out too early, and the distance between the midfield, sorry, not the midfield, the defense and the rest of everyone. Because on those two goals, like there were so many Zambian players rushing to get the ball back, but they left the gap in which the South Africans exposed, and also the terrible marking on corners. Otherwise, South Africa, congratulations. It's just a friendly. It's just a friendly, by the way. Yeah, congratulations. Lots of errors to fix in the post-Grant era with Moses Shichone as head coach. Otherwise, that's been my match analysis. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.